Cyberpunk Uncensored.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This crash course video is all about the role tech and their rollability maker. Before I get into it, let me introduce my special guest I have with me today, my good friend Eric, also known as Coupler, who's been the tech in our weekly ongoing Red campaign that we stream live. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. Currently being attacked by one of my many cats. He wants to be on the screen too.
As
But
always.
yeah, no. Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about the maker. It's probably, I don't know, I have a lot of feelings about this role after everything I've seen, especially coming from 2020.
Oh yeah. No, I love it. I love the way that the rollability works and just the potential power behind it. But before we get into it, and I want you to kind of lead the way on the rollability. You know, this is your one of, I should say, your favorite characters or whatever. I think you kind of dove into it and made it your own, which is really cool. But you know, that's like I said, the character that you're currently playing in the ongoing. So it'd be kind of fun for you to lead that up. But before we get into that, let me just kind of explain for anybody that's not familiar what a tech is. And as r.talsorian has it, they're a renegade mechanic and super tech inventor. They're the people that make the dark future run. Anything you want to add to that or elaborate on?
Uh, well, yeah, like without a doubt, these are probably one of the backbones of the red system. Like back in 2020, they were sort of, if something was broke, they could fix it, they could make changes here and there, and they felt very reactive. But with the crash of the corporations and the neocores popping up, I feel like the makers and just the tech role in general has become very proactive of they have a lot of power to do multiple things, whether it's just fixing things, changing things, they can really shape the game, I think.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I love about Red in general. I feel like all the roles got like that, I don't know, expansion within their own life path and then their own role ability. But I think, like you said, tech more so than others are very similar to. I feel like a fixer or some of the roles in the sense of lots of potential power if role played right and used creatively and stuff. I think a lot of GMs have to, I don't know, really watch it when it comes to certain things because they're, when it comes to inventing and completely creating from scratch and coming up with an idea, man, that really opens up a lot of doors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and a lot of the doors you've already shut on me of like, no, you're gonna make something broken. Don't do this. But
or at least add steps to it. Like, all right, you can get this or
true.
that's cool, but you're gonna have to probably source other things to make it work. Like, can't make it too easy for you to take over the world.
No, and I think they did a really good job balancing that out, and we'll
Oh
get to
yeah.
that part when we get there.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Let's dive into it. Let's get into I mean, first and foremost, let's look at this first little section here about the maker role. And why don't you or maker role ability, sorry. Why don't you explain kind of how that tech role ability works? How do you work with maker? What does it do?
well, the is it's sort of it's a very broad range of abilities. Like similar to the med tech, you get to distribute points to every rank you get. So with the maker, you get for every one rank you go up in level, you get 2 points to distribute among four different skills. I think it's field expertise. Let me check here.
Yeah, yeah, every rank that you go up.
Upgrade, fabrication, and invention.
Yeah, invention.
And
Yeah,
each of those does a very different thing. It's
yeah.
like so you can really kit out your tech to be very either generalized or hyper focused at doing really well. And the really powerful thing about that is that your maker skill tacks on to all your tech roles for doing a lot of things, at least for field expertise, which we can go into right now.
Yeah, definitely. First, I just want to reiterate for anybody watching. Yeah, definitely the maker role ability. Every time you go up a rank, you delegate 2 points. 1 point in each two different maker specialties. And like you said, it's field expertise, upgrade expertise, fabrication expertise, or invention expertise. So yeah, let's get into it. What is field expertise and how does that work?
Phil's expertise goes back to probably what the text felt like in 2020. Of this is pretty much just repairing something, like either in a flash or just general tech roles. And this is what makes them really powerful is that their base tech roles, like whatever it is, whether it be basic tech, cyber tech, like or weapons, or even the vehicle stuff, it gets added on to their rank. So they're already starting off with like probably for a starting character +4 plus their tech skill and whatever other skills points they put into it. So they have a huge advantage.
Oh yeah.
So I think at one of our sessions, it was I had to get that car started after it got pretty much blown to pieces,
Oh yeah.
and I was able to do that like very easily. But the also good thing about it is like it lets the repair tech like a full repair for a certain amount of time. So if I think we ran across some drones in a few of our sessions. If I'd put the effort into trying to fix those drones, I probably could have got them up and running for our netrunner to be using against our enemies. So
Exactly.
it's pretty good. And this is just like the general tech rules for everything. So if someone gets busted cyberware, they're going to be using these kind of bonuses for that, like
Yeah.
everything that goes on.
It's a lot of
And the
fixing,
netrunners
but
love that.
yeah, yeah. No, expertise is a lot of like, fixing and jury rigging and things like that. And like you said, it comes in really handy if you just got to do a quick fix. And those quick fixes, just to be clear, they last 10 minutes per rank that you are in that role ability. So like if you jury rig something, you might pass that and get that field expertise check, success, make it a success. But like if you're a rank 4, it's only going to last, if it was a quick fix, last for about 40 minutes. And then,
Yeah, and that's
you know,
Yeah, and that's definitely something the GM has to keep in mind to throw at the players later on of like, yeah, your weapon blew up, the tech was able to fix it, but you only got about 40 minutes to use it. So whenever
yeah.
however long that session goes, if you get any jumps in time, that solo might be out of luck very quickly.
Well, just like when your car got destroyed and you quickly fixed it to get out of that situation, you barely made it downtown and then it wasn't working anymore. So you had to get it towed out and taken care of. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Heck with the towed car.
yeah,
That's insulting.
yeah. So let's get into upgrade expertise. That's the next option.
Oh yeah, upgrade is amazing. I think upgrade is really good for not just the tech themselves, but also the team, because it's going to let them really sort of allow the team to customize everything they have and what they want.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of options of upgrading individual pieces of equipment, whether it be weapon, cyber decks, cars, clothing. Like you can add SP to clothes that didn't really have any just to sort of give them that boost.
Yeah.
And it even messes with the exotics, which are really expensive weapons, but really good. It gives them different qualities. So it pretty much lets the maker make, or the tech make, junk into some really nice stuff. Like you get that low quality weapon early on, you can start upgrading that if you kiss up to your tech.
Oh yeah.
So,
No, exactly. And I think you put it very well when you said like it's one of those subcategories in that role ability that isn't just awesome and beneficial to the tech themselves, but the whole team. Because man, if you can upgrade, your SP or add an attachment option to an exotic or upgrade a vehicle and do these things, you're starting to help your solo, your nomad, your netrunner with his deck and things. And like, it's definitely awesome. And you can see there's a whole list of things that they give you as options to upgrade. Really cool.
oh yeah,
And again, that works just, you roll in that tech stat plus your tech skill to the item that you're typically trying to repair, upgrade, or whatever. And also your rank in that specialty plus your 1d10. So again, you're getting all that combined. It's very powerful.
yeah,
And a lot of teams, these are rolled against DVs. We're going to show the chart at the end and kind of explain how that works. But it's basically broken. Your DV is uh, in direct relation to the price category. But we'll show that in a moment. I just wanted to clarify that. But the next option or subcategory within the maker is fabrication expertise. Why don't you explain that?
fabrication is probably the fixer's favorite thing if you have a fixer in your party, because this makes a tech super valuable to the fixer for if he wants to set up black like night markets or what was it? What's the
The
midnight
midnight
markets?
market. Yeah.
Because fabrication allows the tech to look at anything that's existing in the books and make that for them from scratch. It still costs about, I think it was a category less. So if it's like $5,000 or like expensive, It's the one right below that. So you're going to make the same quality equipment for a cheaper price. The problem is you have to deal with time. Like this is probably the hardest part when it comes to the tech is having the time to do all these things because they didn't want to make it too powerful. So I'm not going to be fabricating like a ton of exotic weapons to outfit my crew because it's going to take like a year kind of situation.
Right. Not to
And I'm
mention
not going to
like
be building a car from scratch.
right, and even just like certain things like upgrading and fixing things, or fabricating even the smaller things, like it can be hard to find the time when like you barely have a week in between campaigns or sessions or more, and within that time you've got to heal. You might have to do some side hustle to make money to be able to pay bills along with what you're making during your main gigs and jobs. Yeah, and then like you're trying to upgrade and work on your own stuff, and then you have teammates that might want things like, I think that's part, like you said, part of the balance that they put in is, there's a lot going on. So like, yeah, you can do all these cool things, but you gotta try to make the time to do it too.
Yeah. But also this lets the GM, if he doesn't want to, like if they're stuck in a situation where they can't get to a night market or he really just wants to put the tech to shine, it gives them that opportunity. So it balances out like being able to find the stuff that's really good or interesting to be able to, or just buy it. So it's like this lets the tech do his job and actually help the team out in his own way.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice fair balance and it adds a lot of fun to it. It's like, and I think if they start adapting the older stuff, it'll let the tech really sort of shine of like bringing in maybe like cyber dogs and other things. It's
Oh
like
yeah.
because there was a lot of great stuff in the 2020 books that hasn't made it over to Red yet, I hope. But I think this lets a lot of the players who really love 2020 gives them the opportunity to sort of bring that in their own way
Oh
because
yeah.
they'll let them and they can definitely talk to their what was it their GM about that. But I think for the 2020 stuff, I that would probably be more appropriate for the next one, for the next
No,
section we go
exactly. The
over.
next one is Invention Expertise. So
Yeah.
yeah, explain that. And very similar to fabrication, but invention obviously it has a little twist on that because you're inventing, from scratch. But
Yeah.
go on, explain it. Let's hear it.
Well, like where fabrication is taking stuff that already exists in the red, like that's built rules wise, invention is pretty much the tech be working with the GM to say, I want to make this, but how will you let me? Because they're building it from the ground up. They're taking an idea that they have for something they want really cool, and they're seeing if the GM will let them. Because I know we talked about, hey, I want to make a double barrel shotgun that I can conceal, like I see it in movies and stuff like that. And we worked out the details of balancing it out for the game without making it super powerful because shotguns now in this game are really freaking powerful if
Yeah.
they're done well.
Do you remember what balance? Because we never got into that. I mean, you haven't had time to really invent
Uh,
that, but we did talk about that. What was some of the balance? I think it was the amount that it would hold, as well as the rate of fire or something. I forget what we did.
we took it down to it would be concealable. It would only carry 2 shots, and I
Okay.
think we said we would only be using shot ammo in it, so it wouldn't do slugs. So it'd be very much of that last resort kind of weapon to clear a room.
Exactly. Yeah, it was strictly shells, not slugs.
Yeah,
Two in the barrel or something like that, and because of that, you could invent it being a sawed-off concealable shotgun. So that's just an example of how you know when a tech invents something, you got to be creative to give it a little bit of balance. So that was
yeah.
really cool. And then
And
what was that?
I was just saying, I think this would definitely this is gonna make the tech sort of have a lot of discussions with GM of trying to find that balance of trying to find the parts because we talked a lot about that of like well like because I wanted to make coupler build be very much of like the robotic a drone AI thing, and you brought up the thing of like we can go that route, but that means we're gonna have to send you to some bad places to get all those parts
Right.
and they're not gonna be easy to come by. So it's like it adds a lot of flavor to like in fleshing out the characters and the storylines, and that's sort of why I was glad that the Rockland augments leans into that AI kind of storyline. So we can definitely sort of push forward there too, and with Rockland.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I think that's part of the fun of, red, and then also like yeah, it's giving balance to the tech or some of these subcategories. When you do that, it's not easy, quote unquote, but it's fun. It adds more sessions and it creates a campaign or I don't know an adventure or a gig out of something that maybe in the past wouldn't be. You'd be like, oh, I just want to buy this or I just want to get that. And in the past, it might be available or whatever. And now it's like, okay, let's go on that adventure so you can try to get that shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun. I don't know. I like it.
And I think it's like it adds a lot of great depth for the tech and sort of in the GM of being able to, for at least Invention, like I was talking about the 2020 stuff, like I can see an entire campaign being built around like this tech got hired to build a powered armor suit that were really, I think, awesome in the 2020 books, but trying to find a power armor in a red is going to be near impossible. If they're not all blown up, they're expensive. So you
Right.
can build an entire campaign trying to just find those pieces or fabricate them from scratch.
Exactly.
So I think that's a great way. The invention expertise allows players and GMs to bring back the stuff they really love from 2020 and implement it without just having to sort of use the old guns, new guns rules, but make it their own in a way too.
Exactly.
It's like,
It's more fun, I think, and creative, you know. But
oh
the
yeah,
the last thing I want to go over here real quick is the chart that you use. So like when you upgrade, you fabricate, you invent, or whatever. We mentioned like how you roll and you get to add up your tech and all these things and whatever, and you'll see it in the book. But it's versus whatever DV is set based on what you're fixing, fabricating, or inventing or whatever, and that is based on cost. And in my
oh
other
yeah,
crash course video about night markets, I go over the different price categories and why they're there for items, how it works into shopping and night markets and all that. So definitely check that out if you want to get more understanding of the price categories. But you can see in this chart, that's how it's laid out, and why don't you explain that? Because you got the price category, the DV, and the time.
Well, I think in Red they moved away from having prices being a set of costs. It became very generalized of cheap, like premium, expensive, very expensive. So it allows the GM to just really all like adjust that as they feel appropriate. If they really want like a very like on the ground street poor kind of situation or super executive kind of
And it
feel.
it allows the GM to plug it into these different mechanics of the game because now it's like cohesive. Like you're not saying this is worth that much. I guess like you could do it, but it might take this much. Like it's all okay. It's in these price categories that allows you to kind of shift that into whatever table to make sense. But as you can see in this table, it's like you said, based on those categories and them kind of breaking in simplifying the cost into these categories. You can see the DV that goes with each one and the time, and that's with whether you're upgrading, fabricating, inventing.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about the chart is it covers all four categories. And this chart is the bane of my existence because for all the things I want to do is like, how much time is Rob going to give me to make something? Do I have enough to my gun? Can I get upgrade the SP? Who got shot last time and I need to fix their stuff? Do I need to fix their stuff? But it definitely adds that sense of balance. It adds a work-life balance sort of for your character of what's the most important, what do you want to prioritize. It gives you a lot of ideas and it gives you sort of that room to play with the if you're going to have a huge gap between sessions, like what kind of stuff can you really work on? And it's
Exactly.
not too punishing if you do fail these roles because all it does is it drops the time to complete, like it adds it by on half. So if I was to fail a costly, it goes from 6 hours. I have to do another half of that, so it'll take me 9 hours the next time to try it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like I'm being horribly penalized. And I think for the majority of them, I don't even lose the materials. So it's not like there's 1,000 eddies gone right there. It's like, no, I screwed up. Let me try again.
It's basically like I think most of the time, like you said, it just adds time. You have to give it another shot, and it's probably gonna take a bit longer, but at least you do have another shot, and you didn't ruin the materials or whatever. It's not gonna cost a bunch of money. So
Yeah.
it's really
Like
cool.
I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure one of these does ruin the materials. I'm just not sure which one. And I don't want to lean
Yeah,
in
and
too
it might
close.
no exactly, and ultimately with these, like I want to give a breakdown of how the rollability works. Which is every rank you're getting those 2 points to drop into, you know, two subcategories of you have those four options. I wanted to explain how each one of those four works,
Oh yeah, and
how it compares to the chart. You get your DV, your time, how the roll works. But yeah, there are little details like if one of them maybe it does ruin the materials if you fail instead of just doubling the amount of time. But anybody that gets the red core rule book and everybody watching these crash course videos better go buy the red rule book. You should be part of playing and join the community. You'll be able to read those details in those sections and get the more elaborated pages and stuff. I just kind of yanked out the little subcategories things, something for us to base our conversation off of. But But yeah,
Yeah, no asking your netrunner friend to hook you up.
yeah, exactly. But no, I think we covered everything well. I think, is there any other little things we want to mention? I mean, I really do like the tech. I think it got so powerful. And I think, my favorite as far as the rollability subcategories is definitely that invention side. Fabrication, cool. Invention could be so powerful, so creative. I mean, you balance it with the amount of time, the DV they got to hit, it becomes its own campaign or adventure in itself. That's awesome. But I think I don't know, if you're a creative player, that would be it's such a great role because you can really think anything you can think of, you can try to pull off and make it happen.
Yeah, I think the tech role has a lot of room for letting players who like to create, who like to think on the fly, really get to grow. Because even the way you distribute your points is you can put everything into fabricate, and you're that kind of weapons dealer. Put it on the weapons and have weapons tech as your skill, and you're just making all these guns for whoever your fixture is, for whoever your solo team is, or you're just selling them on the black market yourself. Or if you want to be that guy who's like just works on cars, rebuilding them, put everything in the field expertise, and be the go-to guy for like the car mechanics for nomads. It's like it really, I think, it lets a lot of players have that creativity, that flexibility, and still really fit into any team they join.
Yeah, you can
It's
kind
like,
of make the tech, I don't know, it has its own diversity or style of tech with, and you're no longer just a tech. I'm the dude with tools. It's going to fix everything for everybody. It's like there's all these, like you said, you can kind of lean into any one of these four subcategories more than you lean into the others and kind of make your tech a certain type of tech. To play it in any number of ways. It's really cool, and you can also change that as you go. As you go up ranks, you can drop points and kind of shift if you want to. But yeah, I love it. And thanks so much for joining me. I'm glad you did because you are the tech of our team. Anyone watching this crash course, definitely tune in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. post standard time. Check out our live gameplay of Cyberpunk Red on the Cyberpunk Uncensored Twitch channel, and you'll see Eric playing Coupler as our tech. And yeah, any last words or anything else we need to mention? Hey, there's Kitty. Kitty jumped into the shot finally.
awesome. Oh, well, he has to make his cameo.
Yeah,
Uh, that's
yeah.
bad. Well, I lost my train of thought. But the only thing I think of is, well, one thing I want to throw on is now with the ability of multi-class, the tech's just got to be more powerful. Now you got a solo who can make their own ammo. You got a netrunner who can fix their own decks. You've got the rocker boy who can fix their amp. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
pretty much just up to whatever the players really want to take it. And the tech is a great support class, and I think a tech can really be strong for every group out there. So it's no longer just the sort of role you can brush off. I think he's going to be fitting well with a lot of players, and I hope to see more of him out there.
Oh yeah, me too. I think like he definitely. Well, I think Red did a great job with all the roles, making them all feel like they could be in the forefront. Nobody feels like they're just a supporting character with the things that they can invent and do. And I don't know, because all of them have their own little cool things. But Tech, most definitely, they're one of the ones that I always felt in the past felt more supportive, and now they feel more like forefront. I don't know how else to word it, but you know what I mean? Like they just have more power to them now. I love it.
Yeah. So I think Brett did a great job all around.
Yeah, most definitely.
I
So
think he's getting close to figuring time for him.
yeah, so I'll let you go. You got some kitty petting to do. You got to give him some attention there. But yeah, everybody that watched the video, hopefully it was helpful to you and you got a better understanding of how the tech rollability maker works. If it was helpful, please give the video a like and a share. Definitely subscribe to Cyberpunk Uncensored on YouTube so you don't miss any of the crash course videos or GM tip videos or interviews, gameplay, all the stuff we're posting. Also join us on the Twitch channel for Cyberpunk Uncensored and catch all the great live gameplay. We'll see you next time. Thanks again, Eric, for joining me, man. Take care, everybody.
Oh, bye, everyone. Take care.